What's up, Juventini? The big news out of yesterday, obviously another season-ending injury, this time to Cabal. The question everybody's asking right now, how will Juve react? We are going to go through all those details. What's going to happen with the current active roster, free agency, and does this change plans for the Mercato in January? And do we have ourselves a new name to add to the list of backline targets, one that could involve a swap deal? What does this mean for backup striker situation? Will that be affected? We are going to look at it all together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's November 13th. Let's rock with the news. And of course, Cabal, the latest to go down and fall victim to injury. We are waiting for the confirmations from Turin on an ACL injury. That's what's expected. And of course, if it goes down, that will end his season. Now, at left back, Cambiaso will be the mainstay, but we have a jam-packed schedule. We just need to get by at left back until that January window. You also have Danilo and Rui, neither of which have really instilled a lot of confidence. However, between the two of them, we should be able to get by at that position to just offer Cambiaso a little bit of rest, enough rest to hit the January window. But I would suggest we find a fullback in January. Center back. This is where it gets tricky because Cabal was next on deck to at least offer some rest to Gatti or Kalulu when need be. Danilo has been a disaster at the center back in this back four with Mota. That shouldn't be an option. So now all of a sudden you're looking at Savona or calling in potentially some midfielders when the rest needs to be given there. I would probably go with Savona ahead of Danilo at this point when we try to offer rest to the center backs. However, it is getting very, very skinny back there, and we still have a healthy amount of games, and we're 2 points out of top spot in the league right now. So, free agency. Should Juventus act in free agency? There are rumors suggesting that Giuntoli was wasting no time immediately looking at free agency. That is not the case. Nico Schira says Juve will not be looking to free agency, all right? So we are going to ride this thing out until that January window, according to Nico Schira. But we will see an 18-year-old get called up permanently to the first team, and that is Javier Gil Buche, who did get a call up to the squad list for the Parma match. He is currently with the Primavera. He is 18 years old. The Spanish center back can play either left side or right side, but I don't know, in this tight of a Serie A race, even if there are some weaker opponents, I'm not so sure how safe I feel in going that route either when the rest has to be given to Kalulu or Gatti. So, hey, it's going to be all hands on deck until January, according to Nico Schira. Now, when we look at January, does this change our window? You've got to bring in a fullback, in my opinion, and you still need a center back. If Danilo leaves, which all signs are pointing to, you're going to need two center backs, okay? Skriniar still there, always being relevant with Juventus, especially now during these times. You've got Kiwior, who offers coverage at left back, not just center back as well. That's a big one. Apparently, he's only available on loan, but that shouldn't matter if you're Juve, in my opinion. We'll get to that. The new name is Lindelof from Man United. He's only got 58 minutes. He's on an expiring contract. The situation sounds very similar to Danilo, and they are talking about a potential swap move. Danilo to Man U, Lindelof coming in to Juventus, and apparently Giuntoli has excellent relations with the player's entourage. That's a no from me, everybody, okay? I don't know about you, but let me know in the comments, okay? My plan would be this. And January, we're talking about loan recalls. Rugani, Giallo, Facundo Gonzalez. Mirko Di Natale states absolutely none of the players that are out on loan will be returning to Juventus. So, why is Giuntoli and Juve so hell-bent on not recalling any of these loans? My guess would be they believe that there is some piece of business on the backside of these moves and they want to look elsewhere. My immediate gut reaction would be January, call Rugani back, get Kiwior, and find yourself a backup striker. However, with the situation now with Cabal being really skinny at center back, I personally believe this should be the plan. Find yourself a center back right now in free agency. And there's a name that, yes, I would normally be strongly against, and I was against it. However, desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures, and maybe, just maybe, you pull the trigger on a guy that you normally wouldn't. But I would look at free agency right now for a center back. Come January, I go do whatever you can to bring in Kiwior. That'll give you left back coverage and a center back coverage. We will be fine then to go until season's end. I still say you find yourself a backup striker as well in January. And it'll give us less work by utilizing free agency now. That's the route I would go, but you guys know the drill. I lay it out for you to play it out. Would you go that route? Do you think that's the right plan of attack for Juventus? When we get to the strikers, Xerxes today being listed as next to impossible on a loan, and that Man U will not do that on a loan. As far as the striker situation goes, Nico Gonzalez is expected to return from injury after the international break. He is going to be the one apparently called upon to give rest for Dusan Vlahovic. Will that stop us from acting in the Mercato? We wait and see. Maybe it does, because you've got Weah, who is being very, very productive at right wing or left wing, and Chico Conceição has become the 1A at right wing. Yildiz is doing well and strong, and Imbangula needs reps too. So Nico Gonzalez being utilized up there as this false 9 might be the play for this guy when he comes back. Hopefully it takes off and does well for us. That might give us less work to do in January, and then Milik should be back late December, although reports today suggest that could go into January too. So maybe you still got to find yourself a striker. It's a messy situation out there for Juve. Giuntoli appears to be hanging tight for now until January. But is that what you would do? You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army, but let me know in the comments how you think Juve should act. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with another edition as always. Till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.